When you make cookies, what is the favorite thing when you make cookies? Mine's the cookie dough. Not the cookie itself. My favorite is every time I make the cookies, or my mom does, I always try to steal some of the cookie dough. But normally cookie dough has eggs in it, and eggs are bad for you, especially when they're raw. And so always in the back of my head, it says, don't eat the cookie dough, you could get salmonella. That's why I'm here to show you how to make eggless cookie dough so you can have all the cookie dough you want without getting sick. Well, from eggs anyway. Now I'll show you a few steps so you can make it yourself. I have made this many times, whether it's just for a snack or just safer to eat eggless cookie dough. Eggless cookie dough is the way to go. I am going to show you the material needed, the process of making, and the pleasure of eating eggless cookie dough. Now let's get started. So first let's start off with the ingredients and how much you need of them. So first is a half cup of butter, room temperature, so which is just a full stick. And make sure it's room temperature, otherwise it's hard to mix. A fourth cup of granulated sugar, which is just regular sugar. A half cup of, I said a fourth cup for that, a half cup of packed brown sugar. And 2 tablespoons of milk. And the milk can be like skim milk or any kind, but you may want a little extra because normally you need a little more. 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 cup and a fourth of flour. And some people like to bake their flour, but I've never done that. And then a half teaspoon of salt, which is just pretty much a sprinkle, and a half cup of mini chocolate chips, and you can use whatever kind, regular chocolate chips or whatever. So, and then we have, along with the ingredients, you need a bowl and something to mix it with, and I'm going to use a spatula, but you can use whatever you prefer. So now let's get on to the preparing part. So you need to follow directions for this part, and that's something normally I struggle with when I cook, so make sure we do that. So first you get out your bowl and you cream together the room temperature butter and then all of the sugars, so the brown sugar and the regular sugar. I don't know why they call it granulated sugar. So then you'll just cream together this, and normally like I'll be using a mixer or something, but it's a lot of work. And so you just cream together that until it's creamed together. and so once that's done, it gets really dry because you haven't added in any of the wet ingredients, but it works. And then you're going to have to get your vanilla and your milk, and so I have a little more than 2 tablespoons in here, so I'm not going to use the full thing at first, but I'll add some more in if I need it. Because normally past times when I make this, it gets kind of dry because the flour just dries it up. And it's like a small fix, but if you just but when you add it in at the end, if you need some more, make sure you add it in at small amounts so it doesn't get too like wet or something, because then, now we're gonna add in the flour. Because at the end when the flour will start to dry it up, and normally it dries up too much, and then you're going to be playing a game back and forth if you add too much liquid. And so we'll mix this up. It's really hard to mix up the flour because compared to the other ingredients, you have more of the flour than like the sugars and stuff. And so right now it's really floury. And so after you like keep mixing it, if it doesn't like mix up, then you're going to add more milk. And I'm using whole milk, but you can use skim milk or whatever kind of milk you want. And you can already tell that I'm going to need more milk. And so I'm just going to add the rest of the milk in there. And then, after we get this mixed up, we will add the mini chocolate chips, which is Dalton's favorite part. And You can use any kind you want. I'm using mini chocolate chips. And it says that you should fold them in there, but I don't really know the difference. So just mixing it'll be fine. And once you have it mixed, it should be like the chocolate chips, there shouldn't be like a bunch in one area and like none in the rest. And since there's also no eggs in this, it'll be just not as liquidy too. So yeah. Now it's complete. And if still you can add some more flour. Sometimes I've had to add flour into it. So now that we have it done, there's many ways you can enjoy it. So let's talk about how you can enjoy it. So you can use cookie dough for many things, whether it's just to eat it, which I like to do, or you can put it in other things. Some people are allergic to eggs, which makes it you can't eat regular cookie dough, so they use this cookie dough and make regular cookies out of it. And you can also put it in things like brownies, or you can put it in ice cream. So there are many different ways you can use eggless cookie dough. I only gave you a few examples, so you could use your imagination and think outside the box to find many different ways to use it. Now I have shown you the materials needed for eggless cookie dough, how to make it, and how to enjoy this great snack. Eggless cookie dough is an awesome snack. It may not be the healthiest option, but it's good for you to eat. Well, it's okay for you to eat. Thank you for listening and watching my speech.